And away we go on a Tuesday. Welcome back, everybody. How's it going? Let's get right into it and let's look at Doge. I think speculative fervor is coming back into this coin. So be it. But lots of patterns. We talked about this yesterday, and this, the last HSI, and this was triggering about 11.5 cents. Was where we were looking for it. Now you have a crab pattern right now, so it looks like going to pause, but Doge continues. Pretty interesting stuff, amazing that can turn around so quickly. And this is just, I think this is building for probably something larger, but it's going to take time. Again, I think people are jumping on it now because of the whole Twitter deal. But if we're going to go long-term charts on it and just look at the technical phenomenon, yeah, there's something to it. Let's like a lot of these, most of what we've been saying with the whole challenge of the downtrend of 2022. Can you break out of the downtrend? And then can you signal somehow to the right of that? And that has, for now. Does that lead to something more? Possibly. It's in a better spot here than underneath that downtrend. And I said this the other day, yesterday, that it could come back and challenge these prior highs around 18 cents. You hit almost 16 this morning, so probably the crypto to watch. And that just changed. I mean, it changed 10 days ago. Big shout out to the chat. What's going on, everybody? Welcome again. Listen, we're here again Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 12 noon. And I've got some ideas coming up in the next few weeks before we round out the year of maybe a couple adjustments I will be making in what we do with the show and the live stream here. But we're covering harmonic patterns. We do all markets, and we don't really favor one or the other. But crypto and some of the ones that are popping off are usually the ones to focus on, looking for bigger opportunities, especially with the patterns there. Doge and a lot of the other crypto, I think, that have patterns, we want to keep an eye on in this order. Doge, and then go to Ethereum because of the daily Gartley. And there you go. And notice how we had the check back yesterday was the second bearish candle after the check back. So are we going to start the rollover now that we should be watching? Notice how Ethereum hasn't broken out. We're still in this bear market underneath that bear trend that started a year ago. Now we're more than a year into this bear market. A couple more months, as I said yesterday, longer we can hold up here and then survive. Maybe some of the most difficult spots technically we've already gone through them. I mean, this summer was a grind, and you still maybe have this retest on the larger Gartley. You have it's a nice structure, and you have several patterns. Software's kicking it out. I trust those levels. Those are true harmonic levels for sure. The big XA level on Ethereum at 1260, 1262 to be exact. That's your minimum level. Confirmation came in at around 1040, if you recall that from back in June. And in that consolidation, a couple of reactions, but okay, another pattern. So this is really where rubber hits the road kind of a thing, especially if you come back and retest one more time to do a 2 of 2, which a lot of the patterns seem to be doing. It's interesting dynamics going on, no doubt. I mean, there are a lot of different harmonic patterns, big and small, coming together. I think you got to take the small ones and those ranges for now. What's going on, chat? Everybody just in here today. Yes, on the Discord. We're on the Discord. I'll go in there after today's session. Check it out. Claire, how you doing, Claire? I always say that there's time. You know, Claire, that in terms of time of what we're really looking for, when I say time and I say, oh yeah, it's going to take more time, I'm saying, you know, for the sizable trend change reaction, trend change reversal, we haven't seen that. I mean, this whole Ethereum has been squeezed down 1,800 to basically 1,000 for the last 6 months. That range will resolve itself. With the nice Gartley there, it's 2 of 2. So again, maybe a little good priority list today for crypto, Doge, Ethereum. Okay, what's the next one? Binance coin. These are all harmonic patterns. From a harmonic pattern perspective, doesn't have to be good or bad. We're just looking for the best markets that fit within the structure, the framework, confirmation, type 1, type 2. And here's Binance coin on a full retest of the bat pattern generated back in July, doing the 1-2. You know, there you go. There's first completion, first confirmation. We have talked about Binance coin for a while, from 330 to 256.67. And I mean to be that exact because it was basically dead on. And then the return phase where now today HSI is coming out. So it sets up kind of like this going forward for Binance coin. 330. It will be pause or even sharper resistance if that's it. If that whole larger resistance area is going to get confirmed, or at least be a pause with some consolidation before a larger breakout, we want to respect this even on a short-term basis. That's all I'm saying. Difference with Binance coin, again, to the right of that downtrend with big bat pattern, you know, the software. And this is why we go off the software. Now, we go with uniform, proportionally standardized structures that are measuring everything the same way. So, you know, big bat, you've got actually bearish bat, then big bullish bat, small bearish bat. Every time these smaller zones led to at least major consolidation, if not reaction, pause, consolidation. We're in here now. You're about to retest that bearish. That's a big bearish trigger right there. But it says it's a pause for now. And, you know, Binance coin being, I think, probably people consider that the preeminent crypto outfit. Even outside of Bitcoin, I think Binance coin, because it's broker and it's involved in so many different projects, you know, crypto as an industry, if that's going to survive or thrive, Binance coin will lead the way. That's how we got to think about it. Sure. Hey, what's up, Martin? Samit, how you guys doing today? Evan, what's happening? Rate hike tomorrow will bring the volatility. Yeah, what's going to happen after? We'll get into interest rates here in about 2 minutes, because that's where I want to start before I get to the markets. But crypto, okay, you know, I think at a minimum we have to at least say it's not making new lows at the end of the year. It's October 1st. Crypto has done a lot of interesting, massive patterns. Still hasn't popped off in any major way, with the exception of maybe Doge and a few other select coins, but you have massive patterns still here. Here's basic attention token. All right, big deep crab pattern on another retest. I think there's weekly. Let me go to that. What's that other one? Weekly was a weekly check back right there. Retesting those lows for the year, 26, 27 cents. Daily, definitely have patterns. It's just kind of a delayed factor. Does it do a doge and then just go sideways until someone comes in a massive surge and pops it to 70 cents? Who knows? I think it'll be a delayed effect for all of these. Of course, I wanted to get through my top 5 list, though, which really, again, Doge, Ethereum, Binance Coin, of course, Bitcoin. But look at Bitcoin. Remember, it has this little mini shark here. And the fact that Bitcoin has the pattern in the pattern. Bitcoin has the small shark pattern, large deep crab. What's that mean? Well, the big deep crab pattern is just a massive 1618 harmonic correction. Think of it like that, like a big 1618 cycle as measured off the last run to the peak. And so if that structure is meaningful, where this 1618 support is going to hold, then having another little structure like a shark, more of a consolidation, says you got a couple things to look at. Certainly, as we've said, 18,000 can't be broken, cannot be broken. When will this pop? Because you have already done the reaction on the shark, and you're in that potential reversal phase where it should go to target 2. And I keep saying this, the 200-week moving average, which is something I've just been popping up because I've been seeing a lot of people are citing it. So I think people are looking at it. But and it fits well with a lot of long-term analysis if it's going to hold. But even on a back test of the underside of that average, if this does pop to say 24.4, it matches up with maybe kissing that 200-week at 24. And that would still be within the whole downtrend scenario after you pop that move. But for now, you got a few things here where it's at least holding, and then things like Doge say maybe something could work. The what was the other one? Oh, the other one was Cosmos. So Cosmos has been doing a lot of really nice back-to-back movements, excellent confirmation, and that would be number 5. Already progressed quite a distance. Look, just a couple weeks ago, you had the check back confirmation of the bat. It's $10, $10.80, $11. Still in a reactive move. Okay, and it's up to target 2 at 1450. And interestingly enough, you have a bearish pattern where you could be potentially retesting that as high as $19. There. My only question is, can Cosmos come back one time, go to the 1070 level, 1075, retest one more time before the type 2? It seems like it's already gone too far. But you got a lot of patterns here back to back, and probably of all the ones that have had, done the massive 85-90% wipeouts, at least Cosmos seems to be making progress off of these lows where it hit the low and it bounced. It didn't just hit the low and go sideways. keep an eye on those 5. Yeah, I'll take a couple more. And I know a few you guys want to look at nat gas and a couple other things. GRT. GRT's been not well. It hasn't done much. Sitting at 8 cents. Oh, we do have a pattern there. Look. Oh. That's why we look. Oh, software. Do you have the software? Jason, do you have the software? Crab, you do have the software because I see the crab icon. Very nice. All right, beautiful pattern on GRT here. It hasn't done much all summer long. And take a look where the sun icon right there is where the pattern officially completes. But the green arrow, that first arrow after the fact, is where we look for the opportunity. What happened? Not much. I mean, you did a little bump reaction from 9 or 8 to 15, but been another sideways move. I mean, just another sideways duck, if you will. It's probably better ones, or maybe if this could come back down a little bit in the zone and trigger another HSI. I mean, where's HSI here? Yeah, you're overbought on the HSI already, which is a tough spot to grab it. Probably goes sideways to down as it consolidates. Needs more time. Yeah, Chili's has been another one that's, you know, what's that going to do? We've been looking at that. It never came back to the 11.2. What was that? 15.5, 15, yeah, 16 cents. It's still a type 1 reaction. You know, there's a violated trend line. There's a violated trend line. Initial target was 2160 for the crab. 2160 was target 2. Target 1 was 17.5, excuse me. But there's confirmation. And we've said this for a while. Chili's was done as a reaction. Still looks strong. Maybe going to hug this uptrend. But we haven't done anything back on that yet. CLV back to back. Let's look at that. Clover Finance. Yeah, okay. Big ABCD pattern. That was Doge had something like that. And then, yeah, mini bat pattern. All right. But look at what this did. Amazing. I never looked at this. I don't think I've ever looked at this on a stream before, but this is Clover Finance. But just look at those super reaction, just super reactive moves. And they, straight up to hit the target and then rolls over. Right back down. Down, there's the 1-2, but unless you had a limit order, I doubt you even were there to get out in time. And then, type 2 hits target 2 and then gets rejected back down. So that's a little bit different because it's already done the 1-2. Maybe you retest down at the hop at 7.4. I think so. Look, we're going to know pretty soon. I think with a lot of the crypto, are they going to do anything now? Is we're in a really critical phase, and I laid out those top 5 crypto. If you're coming in late, I laid out top 5 crypto to watch and in order priority, and it's Doge, it's Ethereum, Binance Coin, Bitcoin, and then Cosmos. And there's others, yeah. VET is another one that's kind of a sleeper though, and maybe these sleepers take until January before they see an influx of buyers. And there's a bunch of them. Chili's has probably been the strongest of all of those. Others have not done much at all. Just, they are the Cardanos of the world that are, flailing at their all-time lows. Cardano, there you go, has a shark pattern, but this was an all-time low, 32 cents for the move, not all-time, but for this bear market decline. And then just does a bump to 41, generates a bearish HSI, and here we go back down. So a couple things showing that. If you look at its Binance coin, if it's Ethereum, a lot of these have hit some short-term limits. That's where they are. Jeffrey, yeah, Sandbox. We talked about that yesterday. Sandbox is hopefully going to bust out, but that's another big back-to-back. And I know a lot of people are interested in XRP. And that hasn't changed. Okay, big deep crab pattern on the daily, with the weekly time frame having this bat pattern. So the bat 886 at 32 cents, but it's pausing after another reactive surge, hit a bearish HSI signal, and just consolidating back in the zone. Look, this could go back to 32 cents and still be fine. And it's going to have to deal with this deep crab pattern. Maybe 39 is the first place to be looking for XRP. But those other setups, those other coins have a greater priority on the overall state of crypto. And before I jump out of crypto, again, take a look. Keep an eye on total indice 3, DeFi 2 as well. That's an interesting one. But there's the DeFi index, and that couple of back-to-back patterns. The 3 index, okay, coming back to retest the bat pattern, but generated another HSI on the way up. So even the total indices are this latest reaction of the last week, 10 days, got a little overbought. Here's the DeFi market cap. Okay, amplified RSI, that just rolled over. It's rolling over actually as we speak. Goes back into a pause most likely. And then the other ones, look, Ethereum and Bitcoin, that's the total crypto index isn't going to give you nearly as much. Probably just goes back between hugging the 200-week average and then trying to grind sideways as it makes its way higher above 1 trillion. 1 trillion's going to be important psychological resistance, not support, resistance. Hey, Richmond, what's going on? Richmond's asking for tone. I have no idea what tone is. What is tone? Tone crypto? Huh. Don't know. Some new Coinbase thing I see here. Yeah, nothing. I wouldn't touch it. Nothing for not until that thing would sell off. Just another new listing on Coinbase. And hey, if you want to speculate that way with the new listings on Coinbase, some of them do run, but wait for signals. I mean, this one went live, I think it was at September. Yeah, back in September or August, yeah. And sold off. More than 50, 60%, then triggered. So nothing there, my friend. Stick with the big ones. We're still, yeah, but we're still in the, we're still in this phase here where, we're going to have to do a lot of work to get out of this bear market. FTM, I did see that, and thank you for bringing that up. Who brought that up? Dave. Thanks, Dave. I did see that. This is FTM, and this is another one of these short-term little daily patterns off the low. If we start popping off some small daily patterns like we did back in August on things like that, I would, at a minimum, think reaction over and let's do some consolidation. You don't know until it happens. You don't know how this is going to come off the low, if it's going to just do a little muted reaction and then form some kind of bearish consolidation structure, that's what that is, like the other ones, or Ethereum. Again, the big thing for Ethereum being in the type 2 return, and I'll end the crypto discussion on this, that we had the check back yesterday, 2 days ago, and then today's being the second day of bearish candle. Third day, sorry, yesterday was the second confirmation candle. So if type 1 reaction is over on this, run your trend line, certainly under 1500. This should come all the way back, retest XA. Early return phase, but everything's there. That's what you want to watch for crypto. Jump over really quick to the bonds, because bonds triggered some bullish signals on the daily last week. No check back, but they are starting to make a run at all-time new highs. And there's other things there. We've talked about this, like on the 10-year. Okay, it did trigger on the daily around 405, 410. And where's that? Sorry, where's the bat pattern? Bat patterns on the weekly. That's what I need to see. There you go. So the bat pattern on the weekly, we know that overshot it, but we registered the HSI, first HSI, in that zone or above that zone. And the prior high from last week was 4.28. You're 405 currently, but that's the top end of the resistance. Immediate. Even if you got a check back, you would be looking for this thing to peak out right here. 4.3. And not even close above the prior high. So if that's an early stage inflection point for rates, we're going to know. We'll see what the reaction is tomorrow for sure. That's going to be a big announcement. But you do have a few readings that, this last run was insane, and the first inflection happened last week. Amplified on the bottom here. This is amplified RSI. Needs to come out of the zone. It's not there yet, but HSI did. But that's all early. All very early. Would be great to see that roll over. Close under a 3-bar range. Any close under really 390 would then say that this is going to be a temporary pause point, inflection point, 6-week retracement, but not there yet. Not there yet. It's and the 2-year yield, look, that's still 453, and that's checking back on the weekly right now. I think that's probably the biggest thing for all bonds. 2-year yield, short-term rates. What's going to happen here? There's the weekly signal. HSI registered on the close Friday, and now you're retesting at 452.8. 4.528 is the test back, check back. You're at 4.549. It's already done. Currently there. I mean, you're sitting right at that check back point, 4.53. So everything related to the markets, to crypto, it's either going to get started off of this, Okay, or hate to say it, forget about the rest of the year, and then we start looking in January. Because if rates can turn here this week by Friday, we're kind of up there right now in the zone. And it's, like I said, it's happening right now. Go to a 1 hour chart. Break down a 1 hour chart. What is happening here? Right where we are. Well, nice bullish pattern at 430 that set it off last week. Anything up here? 4 hour chart. 4 hour HSI. So nothing up there, no pattern. Nothing on the hourly. The daily did register a bullish HSI. I'm watching that. But it's more about the check back. You're still early, and it's going to be till Friday till you know what the heck's going on with rates. Because if rates are going to explode, it's going to have to be from this point forward and follow something like what we said a while. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I don't think we're going to do the massive blow off, but we did say looking at this as just like a 1618 extension, take you up to, 4.5, 5. 5.05, 5.1, something like that. That if this, and we've said this before, that this whole move up is that strong. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising with something that has been so steep, so continuous all year long, that you're so close. Why not hit a 1618? It's not too much to ask. You're really, naturally, it's kind of a stone's throw away already. Where are you currently? You're 145. But we do have HSI, and thank goodness we do. We also have amplified RSI, although this is quite early, but that initial peak, still have a ways to go with this. We'll look next week. I mean, I want to see what the check back is by Friday for sure. And if not, this will go higher. Let's jump really quick over to crude oil and nat gas. Here's the oil market, folks. Here's the Brent chart. Let's go to the daily on the Brent. Okay. Been sideways, but that's the UK. Here you go. Yep. So I think I mentioned this a while back, that depending on what crude market, if it's light sweet, New York, here, this is the London, it's the Brent. We have some patterns here, but they've all gone sideways, interestingly enough, while the stocks have gone higher. I'll look at a couple stocks in a second, but still looking for crude oil to come back, retest the pattern. And ever since we formed the bearish HSI against the bullish zone, we've been down. That's, $89. Even though we're 94 currently, I would take a look. We need another oversold trigger. And maybe something comes back down and sells off to set off a trigger in this zone. Going sideways, and we are. Take a look. Is this 30? Probably really close. Oh, yeah. We were 30 days last week. So you're day 37. Still consolidating. The spot price of crude, not doing much. You look at the XLE and the stocks, a little bit different. They're making this run at all-time new highs with this kind of a thing. Expanding HSI. Take a look at what Amplified did. These are on the daily. So I find that impressive. And here's the weekly for XLE. I wouldn't fight that XLE. I'm really surprised how strong this is. Ever since we got that weekly check back, what was it, about $68, $69? Straight up. That's all-time new highs for XLE right there. Is that? No. Let me go to the monthly. If it's not, it's really close. Yeah. Here's something though that, look, it's XLE is overbought, but go to the monthly here. And I'm not I've been done with these stocks for a little while. Although maybe there's probably some select plays like natural gas that are probably good, but here's the monthly XLE with this massive bearish crab pattern. So you tell me, am I going to be buying at the top end of that bearish crab pattern? Hop level 94.75, you're trading 91, but that's about it. It was almost you do have almost a perfect type 1, type 2. Look, that was the low on the monthly candle where it was 64.77. Target one was 64 and retested. So HSI check back. That's my problem with the stocks. That's my problem with the stocks there. So careful on those energy stocks. And they're getting pumped up. Richmond wants to look at Oxy. Sure. Occidental Petroleum. All the way back. That's on a monthly. Yeah, you're one bearish candle away. Big ABCD around 74 bucks, which is where you are right now. I think there's something on the weekly. Isn't that a bat? To come back to that. You're overstretched. I know it's tough because now everybody loves the energy stocks. But they are overstretched. They're a huge distance away from their 200 week. And a lot of the long-term levels, patterns, you're sitting at long-term 1618 extensions. There you go. That's a beautiful Oxy chart. Look at that. How many times have you hit that chart? Hit that resistance at 75. That's an insane chart. So here's the thought on Oxy. If that is a massive breakout, okay, and you're going to get that to pop immediately now, a close above 77, yeah, then it's gone. Then it will be completely gone. But not until that happens. It's already banged against 74, 75 3 times. Careful there. And if crude rolls over, after not doing anything all summer long, the stocks might pause for now, just like gold did. Nat gas. Here's nat gas. As we said, okay, check it out. 6 and 9. 6 is support, 9 is resistance. Today, they really reversed that sucker. Ooh, we have an HSI on the daily too. That's the futures. That's the shark pattern. I want to look at the UNG though. That's what we looked at yesterday. Down 2 and change. Oh yeah, check back. All right, here's the situation on UNG. What we talked about yesterday. We did check back. So yesterday was the first day. Looking for another bullish day, individual day. I think that's because we were saying this is falling, dropping pretty hard. I will look very carefully, especially if you're able to get back to that 18 level. Nat gas very well could come off of here and still do the type 1 after maybe another little dip down. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go down as low. A hop is at 16, but the check back, what it does here at 1780, 1790, a little bit lower. It's going to tell us a lot. You're going to go down to 16, but we're looking for that reaction off of that. Wasn't nat gas up big in the morning? I thought nat gas was up like 40, 50 cents this morning. What's the 5-minute chart look like? Oh, nice bat pattern. Okay. In the pre-market. Come back to that. Yeah. Oh, Boyle. So Boyle was bat pattern at 38. Yeah, there's the check back. HSI's at HSI's at 34.50, and you're right back there. You had a little blip to 40 and back down. But another one where I think we talked about this of needing 2 green candles. Here's the zone. I really think this helps. And even if it seems like you're going to be delayed, where can the larger development of the position occur? Look, the pattern completed all the way up here, but there's the first green arrow on Boyle at 34. But that's just the beginning. Stabilizes and then checks back to retest that initial inflection trigger, if you want to call it that, whatever. All of that, retest 34. Okay, but if this is really going to be a bigger move, I need a couple green candles. So there's one green candle. Today you get smacked down. Doesn't mean we can't get another green candle or spend 2 or 3 days over the next week in here before you go again. Very early, and looking at HSI that way with the confirmation helps to put you in the area right before the move. I mean, the drawdown is tricky with that confirmation. You can be in a zone, check back, and then still have to go through more consolidation. If we see at least 2 candles that agree with the trigger, we're typically still in the zone. You're typically still in that area where you can pull the trigger. Okay. Didn't even get to the major markets. So what's going on with NASDAQ? Wanted to look at the 4-hour charts before I get out of here today. And look, Thursday we'll go back into crude oil a little bit more. I did want to get into the interest rate thing because, again, we want to monitor that, check in with that once a week due to the big weekly signals that just completed on Friday. And it's going to really tell us a lot over the next 2-3 weeks of this month what those signals mean. They really going to give us a pause or some kind of pullback that nobody's expecting? Meanwhile, over the NASDAQ, we're still languishing right at the 11,004 level. This Gartley has been all week. Okay, that hasn't changed much, even with all the announcements and earnings and everything. And it's a 2, but still no confirmation on the 4-hour chart on the retest. That's on the 4-hour. The hourly, yes. Actually, the hourly is probably a little better because you have these back-to-back patterns. Okay. Hourly chart, 2-hour charts, actually the in-between interval. Little longer term, but still looking to compare that with where we are on the daily. You know, the daily's is languishing at those prior lows. Hold on one second. Let me bring this up. Clean up this chart. Thank you. Okay, and the last couple of days, we're ping-ponging. Absolutely. We had that Gartley, 786, ABCD, right off the low. First tested at 11.5. right here, straight down. Okay, 11 down to about 11.1, and then a couple of HSI signals. Now, here's the thing about all of the noise of the last week or 10 days, especially with all the earnings. HSI on the 4-hour or the 2-hour chart, a little bit longer term, has been super reliable. And just go and look at the last couple of signals there. Of course, this morning, here was the initial test in here. Let me blow this up. So this gives us levels of 11.5 on the top side, and then we're not surprised if this thing is going to roll back down. Why? Because it's a retest. It's a 2 of 2. You know, that's the first test to here. Come back, and now we go back down to retest target 2. Or look at it this way, this alternate bat pattern, and let me highlight that. Let me highlight this, remove the bearish. Even if we were looking at that bat pattern as a great opportunity to get long, maybe the first long-term intraday setup over the last month, I would still look for the retest. The 2 of 2, back down 10.8. The 113 here is around 10.831. And we've, you know, the thing about this is it's done the reaction. The last 3 days of the month, that was pure reaction. So whatever they're kind of, I dare to say fluff, but with against that alternate bat pattern, the nature of that price action, huge move up to target 2, no follow through, and then roll over with HSI this morning. Take a look. I mean, the indicators are back down. You know, that's under the 50 level, amplified, already hitting oversold, but expanding, and standard RSI. This is your 2-hour chart. So you're 11.3, what? 11.340 at the moment, down 112 on the day. But one thing I've been saying all along is that major market lows are confirmed in November, and if they are going to do it this year, we better get the retest at 10.8, 10.7 to confirm it. That's a 4-hour chart for NASDAQ, but that's not setting up to go higher. Look at the, now let's do it the other way. Let's do it the bearish way. What is that? Okay, because here's the first reaction down to target 1. It's done. Right there. Last week, that was the move. That was your Amazon, Meta, other sell-off. Basically 11.7 down to 11,000. And then straight back for the retest. Now, last day or two, stalling on the retest. We have HSI up there at 11,620. And even if this decides to go sideways and try to make a run for the hop, should not take out the hop level. So put this in your hat if you want that. Hey, if you want to see NASDAQ do really big things, it would have to be above 11.8. Until then, you're dealing with this resistance, and it is resistance. It's resistance with, it needs to do the return, the type 2 return. I would say it's trying to get back into that type 2 return phase. Excuse me, type 2 reversal. Return phase back to retest. The pattern's over. Think of it that way. Let's update the big NASDAQ ponies. Microsoft. Oh, let me bring that back up. So we have the daily crab. There you go. And what happened on the earnings announcement? Kind of back, glad to be out, scratching it. Well, took loss on it, but out. So we have HSI in a bullish zone pointing in a bearish direction. At a minimum, when we see that, it takes more time. Here's the indicator. Okay, we were looking for this thing to come back down 241 to 221. It did it exactly. And there was the bullish confirmation, but look what happens. Now we're almost 30 days. What's that doing? It's sideways. And HSI even just registered a bearish signal. All of that says more time. I hate to say it, more time in the predominant downtrend until that could really expect to do anything. And 221.75 is the hop level where you're probably going to drop another 7 or 8. Keep an eye on it. I mean, what's a way to play that? What's a 5-minute? Anything on a 5-minute? One way to play that, if that's what we need to do here, is just looking at like 5-minute, 30-minute HSI signals. I haven't been too many patterns on these markets because it's been really crazy gyrations, but triggering like weekly calls and options. Yeah, nothing there. That's a little different from Amazon. So, well, actually not too much. It's pretty much, I was going to talk about Meta in a second, but Amazon's back down here on this retest with another, it's a bat pattern. Its hop is 95. And it's a type 2, super sloppy, but it happens that way. Now, where's confirmation? There's, you can't see it, it's kind of tough, but there's an initial HSI. Hits target 1, gets rejected all the way back down. All right, where is it? So HSI is in the oversold, amplified, standard RSI, all three are oversold. That's fairly significant, but has to do some kind of reversal now, give you an arrow out, and then go. And so until that happens, you're on the sides. I'd be looking and look at 95 bucks. It's super, it does look nasty. That really looks ugly, but I have to keep my eyes on this range in here. Looking for the trigger in here. If it violates 95, so be it. I haven't done anything with it, and I'll wait for the confirmation. But structurally, you're there, and something about Amazon, which, again, really tough right now to not just be in a total mood of throwing everything away and just say the whole market's done, it's toast, come back in 6 months or a year again. Or is there something here? And look, Amazon checked back last week on a weekly time frame that is rare. And we usually see some type of reaction, even if it fails. Like, look, Amazon checked back earlier this year, and at least it had some kind of result. There's the next check back from June and some kind of result. Now we come all the way back, triggered 2 weeks ago. We checked back last week. This is now. And we have patterns down here on the daily. So terrible start to the week so far, and you actually make a new low for the move for the year. Substantial. Take a look at what's happening also. Amplified's hitting oversold now, and HSI might go back in. This is really a deeply oversold condition. It's a rare condition. You don't see that this many oversold readings, especially on a weekly and a long-term trend like Amazon, but it's happening. We will get another trigger that says, all right, take a look closely, but it's not there yet. And relative to the COVID low, A longer term consideration is here we are, 886 at the COVID low, off the COVID low, 93.53. So another one that has fallen to the COVID 886 retracement category, put that on the list of one of so many that, and this has got a little shark phenomenon to it as well, down to the 886. Should get some kind of reaction here, but is it 97 or is it 93? Or is it none? Or is it a total flush down to wash out the COVID low at, what's that, 80, 82? Another situation here where the check back probably better served waiting for 1-2 candles. Much like June. Here's, check out June. Here's June. We have the little pink arrow, okay? You got the check back. That's your HSI coming out. And so 1 green arrow, 2 green arrow. Yeah, you're substantial 10% off the low, but by that point or even on the breakout, you know HSI is moving in the right direction where price is responding, even if it's going to be a reaction. Here, you don't have that. So still waiting. And look, Meta looks like it wants to take a dive. If it doesn't turn around at this 97.90, oh, you were all right. You're coming off the low finally today. Here's the daily. Okay, that's just devastation. The one thought on a lot of these big breakdown gaps, for this to be an exhaustion gap, like flush it, drop it, 20% in one day kind of a thing, and that be up and that be it, you can't spend more than a few bars here and then you start to recover. Essentially, if you're going to get a V bottom, it has to start now. And look at what Meta's doing. On the daily, HSI is oversold, amplified, and standard RSI. Trying to come back out of the oversold zone. The only thing to link up there on Meta is that weekly hop level at 97. Look, by definition, that's an overbought opportunity. But again, where is it going to trigger? Quick question from the chat. Hey, Dave. Dave's asking, what are my thoughts on trading patterns as double tops and rising wedges and stuff? I think ultimately, if you're on a wedge or you're on some kind of trading triangle, you still need to measure the actual retracement, don't you? Don't you think that it's you have to have some kind of, like, I think they're really clear, and a wedge, triangle, some kind of formation like that comes together clearly dictates overall structure, but where are you in the relative measure of that? I think it's got to be some kind of retracement off of a pivot, off of a trigger, something like that. It's, this is just it's quite a chart. That's quite a chart. Facebook, $95. Here's the quarterly. Now, what do you think? Looks like an S coin, right? From 8 months ago. 886. Oh, my fault. 886 all time. That's it. It's either 97 or it's $60. And that in itself could be an option play, just to shoot that final gap into the end of the year. Because that's when I think a lot of them that have gotten washed out and are facing these ultimate targets are in the process of getting crunched. Meta probably being the most prominent for tax loss selling. I really think you have to look at it like that. And then meanwhile, any fund that's holding Meta is going to dump it and roll into like Pepsi or Coke or something, or McDonald's or something like that, because people are going to want funds holding stocks like that no matter what. Whole bunch. It's just really quick. For tech to turn around, this is what's got to turn around. It's semis. Okay. Quarterly chart starting to go green. You need one green candle no matter what. Every bear market ended after at least one green candle. And a lot of the prior bear markets, have been just straight out flushes, monthly flushes, quarterly flushes. That's what this year has been for us. Now here's the deal with SMH, and this is a big one. This is a beautiful butterfly pattern that registered HSI confirmation, okay, 2 days ago, Friday on the close. No check back, but we're at the hop. You could be at a point where maybe it doesn't check back because we already overstretched it by hitting the hop. I think you're fair game between, say, 173 and yesterday's low. Trading 190 right now. You want to see that go into a reaction phase. If NASDAQ's going to do anything, tech is going to recover, the semis have to go into this reaction phase. From where we are now, 180, 190, even 188's the 127. If you're anywhere under 188, I think you're okay for a run to 236. That's target one. But that's a really nice structure coming right off the top. And it is off of, look at it this way. It is off of all of the data from 2022. Starting from the April low, you had a little rally up, back down, retest now. 2021, my fault, sorry. And you do have some other prominent semis that are printing patterns that I don't want to ignore. Taiwan Semi, some of them are ugly, but others are at that point where, okay, if I was a year ago, I would have really wanted to see something like that develop. There you go. Again, I screwed it up. Micron's the one I want. Micron and AMAT. There's Micron. Really slow. And Micron, of all the semis that I've been featuring, it's probably in the best spot because it's really a 2 of 2 of 2. Okay, 1, 2 off of the crab. Where are you going here? And now 2 of 2 off the bat pattern like this, just in the last few weeks here. And now off this secondary move, essentially 53 is about it. Keep your eye on that one, and keep your eye on AMD on the weekly. You've got SMH, which is the big ETF. That's probably the easiest way to keep track of it. But here on the weekly, AMD's big bat pattern, 61. And you're down here now 4 weeks in the zone. You haven't broken the terminal bar low. So somewhere, 886 is at 61.65. You're trading 60 right now. And yeah, that happened with the last week. Let me go to the other platform here. Here's AMD on the weekly. There you go. Weekly has the bat. I don't know why the other platform wasn't showing it. Check back is, if we get that, because this is now week 2, $55. Again, another weekly signal where early. You're still early. Maybe we need one more bullish, weekly bullish, or get a check back and then 2 more. But you start looking here. At least it stopped going down at that pivot point. Nice one, Claire. Yeah, I was going to bring that one up too. Of course, Intel. Intel on the weekly. Wasn't that like this butterfly? Well, the HSI came in. Here you go. Intel. The hop is at 30, but the confirmation's kind of low. That might take some time. I think Applied Materials was the other one in the semi space. But again, this is the area that's really gotten crushed. There you go. Applied Materials weekly. That's the thing I can get into. Nice deep crab, even if it's only a type 1 reaction. You're trading XA. Wow. XA was almost retested last week. $80 is that floor for now. Look at the 200 week coming in. And this is also something to note. Trying to look at a lot of long-term charts. What are the long-term limits? Because we're hitting them. And a 200 week moving average, I've been saying time and time again. Notice a lot of people talking about 200 specifically. 200 weeks specifically. And look at the last few times on Applied Materials. You hit the 200. And then what do? And now we have it with a pattern. I think at a minimum we could get a nice reaction off of that, but we need to see progress immediately. AMD today, earnings. Interesting. Okay. We'll check that. And then the other one, look, NVIDIA. Oversold here with an HSI 2 weeks ago at the 200 itself. And then the daily is a, what's the daily? Daily's a, no, it's not a bat. I forget what that is. Oh, what is the, I'll have to come back to this. It's certainly oversold. Oh, I know it. It wasn't NVIDIA. I confused those two. It's Qualcomm. It's the last one I'm going to do. And Qualcomm is daily, whole bunch of stuff at around 114, including the type 2 off of that big bat pattern. The weekly time frame, I think, is HSI at a 200. And you're only week 3 after the check back, but look how tight this is. Qualcomm registered oversold HSI, and you checked back 3 weeks ago, and now 1 and 2 green candles. What does that tell you? Early development. Can we get a third, and can we break out above, say, 120? That would be a big move. These are really early signs. The environment is so nasty. It's, you know, it's like it's been raining all day long, all year long. And you're saying, oh, it's going to be sunny tomorrow, I promise. You have the bigger signals here. I just think at worst, these become duds. Maybe you react a little bit, counter trend reaction, and don't get a heck of a lot until after tax loss selling 6 or 8 weeks from now. But these are big weekly signs. And the last time you had one in something like Qualcomm, again, they come along every few months. That's it. And look at the last few. You get some reaction. 1, 2, bearish up here. Not the greatest, but that reacted there. I would expect some kind of reaction here. So again, I'm trying to think outside the box, follow what the metrics are showing, what the patterns are showing us. A lot of that stuff can still take time. Crypto, really interesting spot. I think either way, even if things perk up in crypto, it's still going to take probably 3 more months before anything can really start to rage. Beyond that, I think you have to be on your toes so that when the opportunities do start to fly, okay, they're right in front of you. You're not scrambling when things start moving. And that's probably where we are. It's probably where we are with the markets. What are we going to buy? What are we going to catch on the next move after this oversold and after all this selling is done? And are we going to take action now, or do we need to wait till January? I mean, like major action. We can trade it. There's been a lot of great individual moves. I've talked about it. And I'll get into it on Thursday as well. But, here's one that I really like. Coca-Cola. Okay, Coca-Cola on a daily. But that was a type 1 bat pattern completed just yesterday. Here's Coke. And I want to feature more of these. I said this in the beginning as it started. I'm thinking about making some changes here coming into the new year and want to get into some more kind of market specific, trading specific oriented content and look at things specifically, feature things like Coke here. I've talked about this. We caught the beautiful reaction. I think this is a phenomenal pattern, but classic harmonic structure, harmonic framework where it's type 1. That type 1 reaction is over and HSI will probably come out today and then look for the retest. But these are all have excellent option capabilities. Something like Coca-Cola, and I'll come back on Thursday, but would be a great play for maybe some 60 puts over the next 30 days, looking for that retest. Hasn't triggered yet, and maybe we'll look for by Thursday it'll trigger, but more stuff that is happening. There's great long-term action that still needs time to shape up. And we could be looking at a heck of a lot more constructive year next year than what we've got, what we've had for the last 8-9 months. But still tons of opportunities. Something really simple like Coca-Cola is a easy way to take advantage of options and the clear harmonic structure. We'll talk about that on Thursday. So that's what I have for today. Again, thanks everybody for showing up. We will be giving away some books. So first person in on Thursday, as always, type the V3. We'll get you a book and a couple more, and we'll catch everybody else up. And again, maybe we can coax Mitch Ray to come in on Thursday. Mitch Ray in the house. What's up, Mitch? How are you? Let me know. Send me a buzz on Discord or something. Anyway, you guys have been great. Thanks again. As always, go get them. We'll catch you Thursday at 12 noon. Take care.